with Steve. She's her own bubble butt boyfriend, Billy. You're evil. She's slack. She watched her mom get butchered. Where do you get this shit? You are pathetic.
Get ready to join Nancy Ann Ritter, aka Nar, as she and Jar Jar Jeremy try to face their fears of all things horror. Along with their guru of gore, Kevin Crooksy, they will watch and give their critiques of some of the best the horror genre has to offer. Will they succeed? Find out on the re-education of Nancy Ann Ritter.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're rolling right now. It's another episode of the re-education of Nancy Ann Ritter, and I'm here with Kevin Crooksy as always, and our world famous Nar. How are you, Miss Nancy Ann?
Well, you guys have I don't know. Because I have just completed Evil Dead 2. Mm-hmm. Which is relentless. I've taken copious notes.
It is relentless, isn't it? It just keeps smacking you with like grossness.
And you warned me, Jar Jar. You warned me, but there was just nothing I could have done to anticipate. I mean, there's just no let up. Just no let up. So, and I know Crooksy is going to have. Oh, Henrietta.
Yeah, I'm here for this episode, and the only reason is just because there's someone in my fruit cellar, someone with a fresh soul.
Oh my God. And Henrietta, I love to watch the end credits. Was played by Lou, so I'm assuming Lou. I don't want to assign a gender to Lou, but I'm.
Well, there's the actual female. There's the actual woman, but then. The possessed one was actually played by Ted Raimi, who was
that his son?
No, that's his brother. That's Sam Raimi's brother.
Well, now who in the credits it says Henrietta and then it says Lou something, Lou.
That may have been like, you remember like that. There's like one point where she wasn't possessed. There was a real old lady in the.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's her.
That's right, singing the lullaby song,
yep.
Which was so creepy and crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys have this. Evil Dead 2 makes The Shining look like a little walk in the park to me, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre just like a family comedy.
Oh, I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm shocked.
Just a dinner table comedy.
So Evil Dead, the Evil Dead movies, Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 1, Army of Darkness, whatever. I think they're more like just over the top fun for me. I think The Shining is definitely more uneasy, and I think The Chainsaw is definitely more uneasy.
Yes, I was totally trying to make you all laugh, but it's only. Okay. I do mean it. It's just because I don't know that this kind of Yes, The Shining was totally horrifying and uneasy.
Well, yeah, I think with The Shining, it's more real.
Yeah. Yes, Texas Chainsaw, it's more real.
Yes. Yeah.
So
although I have had nightmares of claymation people attacking me before. So
it was my assignment and I completed it.
And I'm never going to watch it again.
And I'm not criticized. Like, I love Sam Raimi as a director, and I appreciate any art. Seriously, anyone who can put something down on paper and then have a vision and then somehow execute that vision, I'm hugely fascinated by and incredibly admire. This was just insane, and
there's a lot of very well respected directors that get their start in horror. They get their start in like schlocky horror. Not Rocky Horror, schlocky. I'm sorry, but so Ted Raimi. Ted Raimi's Sam Raimi's brother. Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell went to college together. They made Evil Dead kind of right after college. They did a short. I think it's called Within the Woods or something like that. That was it's basically the short story of this. And they continue to work. Like Bruce Campbell, I think, is in every single Sam Raimi movie.
Just across the board.
Yep, whether it be like in the background, whether it be like whatever, like he's around.
Yeah.
And then they even Sam Raimi and the Coen brothers teamed up for a movie called Crime Wave, and Bruce Campbell's in that as well.
I've never heard of Crime Wave.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm learning so much, Jar Jar and Henrietta.
Yeah. But so that's the thing is like people like Bruce, like Sam Raimi, people like Peter Jackson, people even like what's his face, James Gunn, who does like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, does all the big superhero movies now. He started off in Troma making like Romeo and Juliet, where just like Lemmy's reading Romeo and Juliet, and it's just disgusting. Lemmy from Motorhead.
Lemmy from Motorhead. Oh my
yeah.
What is Troma? I have to. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
It's a whole.
Mean?
It's a studio.
Yeah,
right?
It is a studio. Okay.
Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman owns a company called Troma Entertainment. They started things like the Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Okay.
And then they also, through Troma, a lot of people got their start, like James Gunn. One of I think Sam Jackson's very first movie was a Troma movie. Kevin Costner's first movie was a Troma movie.
Sam Jackson, is he related to Peter Jackson? No.
Samuel L. Jackson, like from
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. And then
that's just how well Henrietta knows him.
Henrietta played with Samuel L. down in the fruit cellar.
Yeah. But yeah, like that one of the first Troma movies I ever saw, which is basically like a softcore porn, was called Sizzle Beach USA, and it was starring Kevin Costner. It was basically just a really, really low budget like softcore porn. But anyways, Evil Dead 2. So where do you want to start, guys?
Oh, at the beginning as always.
Oh, all right.
We'll start at the very beginning.
Oh, there's something, just because you just sang, it made me think of it. There's actually there's an Evil Dead musical that's out there.
Oh my!
I've gone to see it once. It's coming back to New Hampshire this year. I want me and my wife to go. It was an awesome time. If you ever get a chance to see it, I would recommend it. It's a really good show, but you're going to get covered with fake blood, even though it's just like it's like Kool-Aid. But I was drenched by the time I left that play.
No way.
It was awesome. Yep.
And it's a musical of Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead?
Evil Dead. It's basically pretty much the same story.
I think I'm too grumpy to have fake blood thrown at me while I'm watching a movie.
I had fake semen thrown at me at that show too.
You had
sitting there and being all crushed.
There's like a condom that gets thrown on the ground at one point in the play, and someone slips on it, and then they pick it up and like, they throw it, and it was like, bleh, like right on my shoulder.
Oh, great!
It was yogurt, but at least that's used to like, anyways.
So tell me again why, because as I was watching this, I know you guys. Well, Henrietta, I'm sorry, guy and gal, said that Evil Dead 2 would be the better, the one to watch of the first two, and I can't refresh my memory why.
The first one is it's a way lower budget. They try to pull off some stuff that doesn't really go off as well. There are some cooler scenes in it, like there's that tree rape. So in Evil Dead 2, where like the girl's out in the woods and she's getting like kind of attacked by the trees.
Yeah.
And the first one, it throws her on the ground, it pulls her legs open, you see a branch, like it just like, goes right to town. That doesn't show anything.
Why does that turn me on?
I don't know.
Big wood.
Not dead wood. Like, rape doesn't turn me on. I don't want people.
Hey, to each your own. I mean,
just seeing a tree fuck a girl.
It's
that brings a whole new meaning to the Wizard of Oz. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Take this apple.
And here's one thing, I actually mentioned it to Jar Jar before the show. I know I kind of ruined it for him, but so Stephen King was a huge fan of the first one, so much that he helped find finances to fund the second one.
Wait, say again. He helped finance the second one.
Yeah, well, he found financiers to work.
Now,
with it.
Because I was cramming for tonight, I didn't catch the date. Was it 1987 or this Evil Dead 2 or in the 70s? For some reason,
it's in the 80s. It's in the 80s.
Yeah,
I should
87.
know because 87. Because Annie's outfit drove me insane. It was the perfect 80s outfit, but I couldn't stand it. The yellow Oxford shirt, the sweater over the shoulders, the Bermuda shorts, the pleated Bermuda shorts, which I wore a ton of growing up, and then the knee socks, and and then her feathered hair. It brought back bad memories of the 80s of just that clothing, and but I mean, it was perfect for her, but it just bucked the tar out of me when everything was like, I could handle Bobby Joe and the jeans, like everyone else was more Bobby Joe and her guy and Bruce Campbell. But Annie's, okay. And I have to say, I think the blonde guy with her, if you go back and look, Saturday Night Live, Will Forte as MacGruber.
Okay.
Did you ever see the MacGruber?
Oh my God, yes.
I believe so, yeah.
The MacGruber movie is fantastic. I don't know if you've ever seen the MacGruber movie.
But I loved it. But that blonde dude, her cohort at the begging, I knew it couldn't be him, of course.
Yeah. But he reminded you of
yes. And then his horrible haircut. And it looked like a members only jacket that he was wearing.
It probably was.
Pretty much, yeah.
It probably was. I had a members only jacket, so whatever.
Yeah. No, my dad did. My dad only stopped wearing his. He wore his through the 90s. Mm-hmm. In fact, he had a beige one. I had
a maroon one. I don't know
why. A maroon one.
Because it was kind of red, and I was all about Michael Jackson at the time. And so I had that until I actually had a Michael Jackson jacket.
You did have the red Thriller jacket, the leather jacket?
Well, wow. Jacket, I had one of those.
Now I'm jealous.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn you up just a little bit. Bear with me. I always get nervous doing this. Okay.
Boom. The whole thing falls apart.
And then I put my head close up.
That's what happens whenever I try to mess with any of my computer stuff. Everything fails all at once.
Mm-hmm. That's
well, tell me. Well, I want to hear all your. I want to listen to you all, and then I'll share my notes.
Okay.
Well, I'm a big fan of, as I was saying, the claymation. The use of it throughout the whole movie is just phenomenal. I think it's simple, but it's used in a way, while it looks corny and stuff, it's still like freaky, weird.
So
there's more of it in the first one that is even more unsettling because it's even worse.
Oh,
yeah.
And I'm so stupid. So that was claymation. That's what you call that, claymation.
Well, there's like
they call it stop motion.
There's a few like little bits here and there. Okay. Yeah, like when like Henrietta's neck gets all long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, stop growing. So that's all.
Henrietta, this one comes with the head and everything. I'm an adult.
Wait, show it again.
Oh, it's I was telling Jar Jar that all these fell off the wall recently. I've been thinking about selling them, but that's the Henrietta figure.
And that's Henrietta. Her body was hilarious. I'm going to call you Henny, aka Crooksy.
Okay. So the one thing with him in that suit, it was extremely hot, and
I can imagine.
There's times Henrietta.
Yeah, they would take it's something like I have it written down here. They would have to pour liters of sweat from the costume like regularly, and there's actually scenes where you can see the sweat dripping. Like out of its ear, I think you can see it dripping from like the crotch area at one point. And then at the end, when he was done, when he was wrapped for the show, they pulled a prank on him using that sweat. They collected all the sweat and did something with it. You didn't specify.
Oh no!
But I can't imagine it being pleasant.
Penis sweat, penile sweat, balls.
Oh my!
All swass. All swass. What do you have?
Wait, did you say Crooksy swass?
Yeah, swass. It's what he asked.
Ass, and they saved it and poured it on him.
I'm assuming he poured it.
That poor man.
He did a keg stand of it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's like in one of those post-apocalyptic movies where they take your sweat and just redo it into water and
I'm good. So
Jar
yeah,
Jar, that sound effect was disgusting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we've been working on it.
But brilliant.
So I mean, it pretty much. I mean, for those who don't know the story of Evil Dead, we're gonna.
Oh yeah, actually, get us into that.
Yeah. So it's basically, Bruce is in the woods. He's traveling. He's doing his thing. He stops at this cabin, and everything's whatever. It is what it is. Meanwhile, some other people start to show up because of it's someone's parents' cabin,
right?
And they suspect him of where's my parents, where's my mom, where's whatever, and so there's this whole suspicion going on there, and he tries to leave at some point. I think it's earlier than that, and he can't. Like the bridge is like completely like gone. It's like looks like a hand too. I don't know if you noticed it. Yeah, it looks like a hand. And that was really cool, like miniature stuff. That was for that. And there's a little interesting thing too. That same vehicle, the same car that he drove in that movie was used in multiple Evil Dead movies. So the same car. It was actually Sam Raimi's car at the time.
Is that the one that drops into the Army of Darkness one? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So how many did they make post Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2?
So there was Evil Dead 2, then Army of Darkness. So at the end of Evil Dead 2, where he wakes up, or he's in like where there's like nights and stuff like that, that's where Evil Dead 2 takes place. I mean, Army of Darkness takes place in that time period.
And does it begin right? Does it begin right where Evil Dead 2 leaves off?
Pretty much, yeah.
They actually do a little recap of Evil Dead 2, like towards the end of Evil Dead 2, and then it's up from there.
Like the Karate Kid?
Yeah.
Karate Kid 2.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
The one thing with Army of Darkness too is I think there's more humor in it. It's more slapstick. I was also explaining to Jar Jar that Bruce Campbell is a big like fan of like Bob Hope, like those kind of comics. And there's like even like for as much as I love Army of Darkness, it's probably my least favorite of the whole franchise because it's so like kind of like there's like literal like eye pokes, like Three Stooges in it. Like stuff like that. It's fun. It's a really fun movie. But it was actually the first one I had seen. I saw that before I saw 1 or 2. I saw it in a theater. And
really?
And I went back. And,
what year did Army of Darkness come out?
I think it was 92, either 92 or 93.
Sounds about right.
Wow.
Yeah, I was still in high school. I skipped school to go see it. And
ooh, Crooksy.
So was life.
And Evil Dead. The first one's just called Evil Dead, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that would be fitting. Like Jaws isn't called Jaws 1, Scream isn't called Scream 1, so that was a dumb question.
Yeah.
The Godfather isn't called The Godfather.
That'd be impressive. Like we just knew.
Like, we're gonna be.
We just knew.
Oh, we will be making more. And then they did a reboot of Evil Dead, a little while back, and it was a female lead. No, there was Ash versus Evil Dead, which is a different thing altogether. Okay. That was more Bruce Campbell, and it was more following him. They did a reboot, which some people didn't like. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a very, very bloody movie. Lots of blood. More blood than what's in Evil Dead 2. It rains blood at the end of the movie. And then they just recently did a new Evil Dead that is also female fronted.
Yeah.
Is that Evil Dead Rising?
Yeah, Evil Dead
Rise. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Evil Dead. Oh, that's right. You told me. And that poster of that smile, is that the act? She's a redhead, right?
Yeah, that's the actress.
That's her smile.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's the smile. Like, there's one point in the movie where she's obviously possessed and she's trying to get back into the apartment, and everything is like locked up, and she has a young daughter, and she's looking through a peephole, and that's what she sees, and she's trying to convince her to open the door.
Ew, ew.
Yeah.
The way they filmed this stuff out through the peephole was really cool.
Yeah, it was really good. And they actually do some throwback. They do some throwback to Evil Dead 2.
Oh, like, they do.
There's They yell "Dead by Dawn" a bunch in one scene, and that's from Evil Dead 2. And
Dead by Dawn. Oh, I missed that line.
Oh yeah, they're like "Dead by Dawn, Dead by Dawn."
Oh, that's one of the things she's saying, because there were some lines.
Yeah, there were some lines, and then,
yeah,
she was like bumping the thing up and down, just "Dead by Dawn, Dead by Dawn." Yeah.
Henrietta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I couldn't. Yeah, I didn't catch those words.
Okay.
So, Evil Dead Rise. What did that just come out?
Yeah,
earlier this year.
Yeah. And
did it do well at the
it did really well.
Oh, very cool.
Good. And one thing I think is awesome too is that Sam Raimi is no longer involved in making those movies, but Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are like producers on it, and they oversee a lot of like the story development and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, it's their legacy kind of deal.
So they're still heavily
but they're not at the same time too. They're letting them do what they want to do, but if there's any changes that need to be made, they'll let them know. And Bruce Campbell has been in the reboot and the newest one as well. At the end of the reboot, it's like literally after the credits, and it's just all dark, and you see like his silhouette, and he just goes groovy, and that's it.
I know the groovy part. I wrote that.
Yeah, and then in Evil Dead Rise, there's like a record of like it's like a seance kind of deal, and they're talking about things, and you hear one guy say they're called Deadites for a reason, and it's Bruce Campbell. And it's supposed to take place like that was from when he was in the Army of Darkness time. But yeah, I've also 3D printed a Kandarian dagger.
Ooh, Kandarian. And what does Kandarian mean?
It got me. This is what he stabs. Yeah, towards the end, he stabs the eye with it.
Yep.
And I also
make that?
Yeah, I 3D printed it. I have a Book of the Dead wallet, and then when you pull up the cards, it flips you off.
That's like the finger.
And then I was also showing Jar Jar this. Real quick too. Middle of Beyond is where I got this. I bought one years and years and years ago, and it broke.
Oh, that's the new one.
Yeah, it broke. Like the leather strap inside broke, and I just think like, oh, I'll just have to buy another one someday. Someone posted about these on Instagram, and I was like, oh, they're great. Mine broke. Unfortunately, I can't use it anymore, but I still love it. I can't get rid of it. And then they're like, hey, send us an email. And then they sent me a new one. It's been like maybe 10 years, something like that. 10 years. And they just sent me a new one. I was like, what? This is awesome. That's a company
right there.
Yep. And then I have a Kindle Paperwhite, just a regular Kindle Paperwhite. And then I 3D printed this cover for it. So it's the Book of the Dead.
And I know, isn't he like? I'm impressed.
Crooksy.
I'm try a what is it? Nerd.
Yeah.
No, you're not very talented.
But you're a talented nerd. You're not just sitting there like talking about it. You're doing it.
Anyways,
that's right.
I'm doing it for myself, no one else. I haven't made any money.
You're doing it for Jar Jar and me.
Yeah.
Facts are facts.
And the viewing audience.
That's right. But so the people that are listening to this, man, you missed out. You need to go back and watch the video. Tell you that. But
that's right.
So I'm totally just jumping around like crazy.
No, I love it.
So
no, it's natural conversation.
Is it though?
Maybe.
Crooksy, it is.
Okay.
Reading from scripts. What if we really were?
Whoever wrote this needs to be hospitalized.
Shit.
I need a script supervisor.
Yeah. Like, I have no idea. All these pages say 2 on them. I don't understand. It's the world's longest page.
Two.
But so yeah, so things start to go awry, and there's the daughter turns on the tape recorder, and it starts like reading back what the father was reading, which caused everything. And you see it coming through the woods, coming at the door and everything, which is pretty awesome. And then the first one, they did the same thing, but they did like the very, very low budget way. They literally mounted a camera on a large 2x4 and just ran through the woods with a camera strapped to a 2x4, like one person on either side. Like that's how those shots.
I love that. I love it.
It's pretty great.
Guerrilla filmmaking.
Totally. He later on you hear too that this is how you find out that Henrietta's in the basement, he talks about how like something's happened to my wife and blah blah blah, all this other stuff, and she's buried in the basement or whatever. And then at that time, Ash is down there.
Yeah,
they lock him down there.
That's right.
Right, and then one of the most terrifying things in my eyes is when he's trying to get up those stairs, and like there's rats and like stairs. He's just like,
that's why I run up the stairs from my attic when I'm turning off the lights. I'm just like,
do you really?
Oh, I do. I down in the basement. The kids always leave the lights on down there, and like every night when I'm turning out all the lights, it's the last lights I have to turn off. And
you should make those the first lights you turn off.
I probably should. I should probably reverse my whole thing so I'm like not running up the stairs at the end of the night every night.
So my friend, I went to Northwestern University, and a lot of friends, well, my peers and younger, and then older classmates who had graduated before me, a lot, are doing really well in LA, and TV writers, producers. And I was in LA 95 to 2000, but a friend, not a close friend, but a nice kind of friend,
someone from school.
Jason. A friend from school. He worked on Ash versus the Evil Dead, the TV show. And I know he was a producer on it. And I want to say he might have written some of the episodes. I guess I should have IMDb'd that before. So I knew the title, but I didn't know anything about it. So then seeing Evil Dead 2 kind of, and you're saying, was Bruce Campbell Ash in that TV series?
Yep.
Wow.
He's older.
He was way younger. Yeah,
he's older in the show because that movie, like in Evil Dead 1 and 2, he's fairly young. He's a lot older because this just came out, like it was pre-pandemic, but it was not, it lasted, I think maybe like 2 or 3 seasons. It was on AMC or FX.
I think it was AMC, but I'm not 100% on that.
And I'll name check him because he's a really nice guy, Hank Chilton. So he's a really nice person, and so I just knew peripherally that he was working on that. But
that's from a horror fan standpoint, that's an ideal show to be part of. It was really good. I have them all on Blu-ray because I'm that guy.
You
I'll
are
watch
that
it and
guy.
I'll buy it and I'll rent it, whatever. But
so cool. And so you liked the TV?
Oh yeah,
you liked what they did.
Yeah, definitely. I always get nervous when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like even when the new Evil Dead Rise came out, I was very nervous because I'm afraid. I'm like, is this going to ruin everything for me? Like, is this going to ruin everything I love about this franchise? Like, I'm always scared, and I haven't been disappointed once. So.
I'm not trying to be, because I like to be focused. I'm just turning, now that the AC went off a little bit, I'm just turning my parents are asleep in the fruit cellar.
Oh.
And I've locked them down there. Totally joking.
That's not pleasant. And, why do you have a fruit cellar?
No, my dad did grow up, he grew up on a farm in Higginsville, Missouri. We call it Missouri, not Missouri. But they had the farmhouse is still there. He still owns it, but there is a great cellar down below where his mom did a lot of jarring of fruit and such like that.
If you ever go visit it, you know what to scream.
I know.
Like, I want to check out the fruit cellar, and then you just go down there, and then like people are walking. He's like, "There's somebody in my fruit cellar." Someone with a fruit cellar. And there's another part that I love too, and it's when the neck gets all long. First off, I don't know if you guys noticed, there's like elephant noises, like elephant like sounds and stuff like that.
I didn't notice.
Weird sound. And like at one point, it's that the big head that's like whatever around, and it just goes, "Hey," and like they look, and he just goes, "I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul."
Okay, I'm coming back because I'm getting vagina sweat just from the
face. What have you been doing?
That's amazing.
I hang upside down. No, just the 60, 70 has made me hot. Okay, I'm literally coming.
Okay.
This is how dirty I am. like so dirty. Like I'm sure this will turn off some of the viewing audience, but what if I were literally like just masturbating in the hallway each time
I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully your parents will wake up.
That's where my mind went. It's just constantly a pattern. Everyone, I was a virgin till I was 28. So
it's like being Catholic until you're like 40.
Yeah, I know. So I still have arrested development. I'm probably still like age
making up for time lost.
Yes.
But so where do we go from there? So there's a lot of fighting that happens between some people. Some people end up perishing and becoming deadites themselves. It's called the deadites. Yeah. That's what they're called.
Oh, that's what they're called. DEADITES.
And I happen to also be in I'm in a band called the Deadites. I've never played with them, but I play with them when they have shows. We just haven't had any shows since they've asked me to join. But I'm in a band.
They're dead, Crooksy. They're dead.
But yeah, I'm in a band called the Deadites. They have an album called.
You guys better dress up when you go on stage. Oh, okay, good.
You do. I'm forgetting the name of the album. I'm really good. I'm a good band member. Monster something at midnight. I'll look it up. But anyways, talk amongst yourselves.
Is it slapping elephant tits against your face? What was that one?
That's baloney.
Oh, baloney tits. That's right.
I had your song title written on my desk, and by my desk is where my dad sits at the computer, and I had to quickly turn. He doesn't scan what's on my desk, but that was very prominent on a pile. Song title baloney tits. So I quickly turned.
Definitely one of those titles you see.
This
and you're like, huh?
This is it where I crossed it out.
Oh. Years ago, my friend Bill made me a mixtape, and he used to always like make horrible covers and like name them really weird things. And I left the tape in the living room. And then keep in mind, I was still in school at the time, like maybe like a freshman in high school. And he came to the room. He's like, "Can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What's a cuntathon?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's a mixtape that Bill made me. I didn't realize I left it in there. Why does this person have a penis coming out of their mouth?" I'm like, "That's Bill. He did that." Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god.
It's called The Big Scary Monster Hunts at Midnight. That's the name of it. I didn't even have to look it up. I just took me forever to remember it.
The Big Scary Monster Hunts at Midnight
is the name of their album. But
Hunts at Midnight.
Yes, exactly. So I'm trying to think. Where do we want to go?
Do I get to read you my notes?
Oh, yeah.
Or is that so? No, I'll have to ask you off camera if you like my notes.
Oh no, that shows that like you're taking it serious, Nara. I'm like, that's fantastic.
But if you
I wish I had taken. Now I'm gonna have to start taking notes every time I watch something.
Well, just to keep my memory, to keep what as I'm, because there's just so much happening.
This is movie especially. There's every 10 seconds some new characters introduced.
There's movies that I can put on this list that you're going to be like, I thought Evil Dead was crazy. Holy crap.
I mean, Jar Jar had warned me. Wait, okay. Bruce Camp. Okay, yep. The rolling head. Well, I just thought it was. I was glad I was able to laugh in some places.
Oh yeah.
Because as a kid, I wouldn't have been. That's why I love that you.
I was telling Crooksy before, my kids were like, as soon as I put it on, they saw like maybe 10 to 15 minutes and they were like, yeah, this isn't the one for us.
When you were watching it for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And which is the daughter that is your scary movie watching partner?
Oh, well, now both of them do. There's Cupid and Lindley. They're both very much into the horror motif.
And is Lindley, is she about 15?
No, she's gonna be 10 the 28th of August actually.
Oh, Lindley. And then is Cupid
gonna be 12?
Oh, she's the older. Okay.
Yeah,
now is Cupid the one? Oh gosh, what did we talk about last week? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Was
Texas
Cupid
Chainsaw
the one?
No, that was Lindley.
That was lonely.
Yeah.
The younger one loved it.
Yeah. She's into the more with the slashers. She really wants to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, but I haven't brought it out yet because there's more of the sexual stuff going on in those ones.
Oh,
like I like Texas. Like I didn't even notice that there wasn't much blood going on. Just like
not until
it's more of
yeah.
theater of the mind, kind of like plays with your head.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's you should make her watch Dead Alive. There's a lot of blood, a lot of like really cool, like just funny stuff. It's a Peter Jackson movie, but like I think it held the record for a while of the most use of fake blood ever in a movie. It's been beat since. Yeah.
Who was I love Peter Jackson. Who was in Dead Alive? Because
nobody you would know. He made it in New Zealand. It was one of his first 3 movies.
Was it before Heavenly Creatures?
Oh, yep.
Kate Winslet. Okay.
I rented out a movie theater during the pandemic. Me and my friends rented a movie theater to screen Heavenly Creatures.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that.
Are you rich, Crooksy? That you?
No, it was $100. We all chipped in for it. Yeah, it was $100.
That movie is off. I mean, the two of them, Kate Winslet and Melanie Linsky, are just so amazing. That story is just horrifying.
And it's based off a true story too.
That's what I was just going to ask. It was based off a true story.
Yep. And there's a Simpsons episode where they blatantly rip off the movie, even to the point like, when they had their imaginary friends and they were doing they looked like they were made out of like clay. Those people that were walking around like there was like a knight in a prince or something like that in their imagination. They even did that in the Simpsons episode. I'm like, they need to mention Peter Jackson somewhere in this episode, and they never did.
Oh, they never did. I need to rewatch it because I watched it maybe in 2010 or something.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And it's just so those two are so good, and then
it's a movie that a lot of people still are not aware of. That's the reason.
Really?
That's the reason why we chose that one when we rented out the theaters. We all made a suggestion and put the trailers for the movies on Facebook, like in a private group, and they're like, "Oh, I've never heard of this one." I'm like, "Well, watch the trailer, see what you think," and they all voted for that because it's like it just looks interesting, and I'm like, no one had ever heard of it before.
Freaking great.
And then the backdrop of New Zealand, I love, and Melanie Linsky is New Zealand. Yes.
Yeah.
So and then I know Kate Winslet is British, but yeah, I just loved the setting. Every movie I've seen in New Zealand, which isn't set in New Zealand, I've loved, which is only a handful, but I loved. How did you think of that movie? Out of all the movies, what made you think of Heavenly Creatures to put?
Because it's one that I really, really love, and it's one that I know a lot of them hadn't seen. And I've been trying to get my wife to see it for a really long time, and she's just like, oh, whatever. So look, this is a reason. Now we have to go watch it in the theater. And
it's so funny because I've been thinking of it recently.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Actually, the last few weeks.
There's some of the earlier Peter Jackson, earlier than that, is over the top. Let me tell you.
Earlier than.
Oh yeah, over the top. I think Jeremy's Frozen. He is, just as I said that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did. Speaking of freezing, last night I did a YouTube interview.
Oh, nice.
Oh, actually, before I forget, it's a really nice friend. He was celebrating 10,000 subscribers. So
fantastic.
His show's called Craven Something Scary. So Craven, Craven, and I had done his show a few times, like a year and a half ago. So he brought on a few screen people to celebrate the 10,000 subscribers, but I got a chance to talk about our show.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sweet.
So I was very excited to talk about our show, but there was the reason I brought that. Oh, but as we were all saying goodbye to each other, I think there were 5 of us in the 5. Yeah, wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 of us, and everyone's saying goodbye. I didn't realize until I watched the playback. I'm just frozen.
You're like,
I know. And luckily, Craven, his name's Stephen Matthews, but I call him Craven because that's in his title. But luckily, he was like, "Oh, she's frozen," because It was just funny.
Oh yeah,
At least it was right at the end, though.
I know.
Right.
Can you? My face
Just frozen like
so
that,
stupid.
the whole like time.
But you don't even see me waving. It's just kind of cut, like just mid. I just look really stupid.
So you said you have some notes.
So the headless. Well, I loved the girlfriend. Well, her head at the beginning cracked me up, of course, and then when he threw her headless body into the grave, I just thought was hilarious. So I was loving that I could, like I said, laugh and appreciate that, because if I'd watched it at my little elementary school sleepover with my little girlfriends, they would have all been able to laugh and I would have been horrified.
Yeah.
And then let's see, when it's panning the woods during the day, just that long pan of the woods kind of encircling him, that was very freaky to me.
I love like when he like crashes into that puddle.
Oh yeah.
When he gets up, it's like, his eyes are all white and just like it's awesome.
And then his big brown eyes I found very I mean, they were perfect for the character, but just so piercing and deep brown, very disturbing. And then I just love, I mean, being an actor again, I of course love watching the acting, and I love, for some reason, you both, I'm sure, hear it, but those 80s TV shows, they always just, and further back, they always just sounded different to me than how we sound today, like how Annie sounded with thank you, or I can't imitate it, but thank you. And then like the timbre of her voice, and then saying something about, oh, we're looking for the pages of the book.
Yeah.
I'm not, if we
I hear you. It's like, because I watch a lot of like older movies, and they're just like, let me tell you, see, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's so funny. And they all kind of that period sound all the same. And then her during the 80s kind of all sounded similar. So I loved that aspect. And then she reminded me, her face at first, of Fairuza Balk.
Okay.
Do you remember who I love, that actor? Just her jaw structure. Annie, the actor playing Annie.
Yeah, I think the first movie I saw with Fairuza Balk was what was it? Return to Oz.
Oh, I haven't seen Return.
Yeah, she was a child in that movie. It was she played Dorothy in Return to Oz.
Was
Most
she
people
younger
never watch that one.
That movie's crazy. It's really
It
good.
is. It's really dark.
Did you see her in Gas Food Lodging? If you haven't seen Gas Food Lodging, she's great in that. It's not a scary movie, but just a good little drama.
Yeah.
Oh, Return, and so she plays Dorothy.
Yeah.
She's like,
she's really
am I wrong?
good.
Do they have like a psychotherapist treating her or something like that?
Something like that. It's been a while since I've seen it. But there's like a sofa that walks, and it's there's like, instead of the Tin Man, it's like he's like a mechanical clock guy. He's got like all these gears inside. And there's the lion is like actually like a lion. It's a crazy movie, but it's really.
Was it in the 80s?
Yeah,
like mid 80s.
Yeah,
when she
70s, 80s. Yeah, it was.
No, it was 80s.
Probably early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a kid, but I would recommend it. It's a good watch. It's weird. That's for sure.
To Oz.
Yep.
And
Definitely
then
weird.
At one point I wrote down ow. I think he says ow or something towards the beginning that just made me laugh.
Oh.
His response. That little weird creepy voice of his hand, of the hand, whatever that cartoon.
It was just like, I love when he shot it in the wall, and it was just like right away, blood, like just a ton of blood.
A ton of blood.
Yeah, here's the thing. So this kind of goes into like what we said about Texas Chainsaw last episode too. They used different colors of blood to avoid an X rating.
Really?
Yeah, and it didn't work, but it eventually was released as unrated.
So would a darker form of blood been scarier?
I don't know. They did like a green one. They did
at one point there's a gray. Something, and then the green.
It was definitely black. It was the one that was coming out when he shot the hand. I'm pretty sure it was just black.
Yeah.
So they were just trying to do something other than red to hopefully get, so that way it's
I see.
obviously blood,
But they did have a lot of red, so eventually
it just didn't work.
Yeah, they gave up. The hell with it.
Yeah.
Do you think some of these notes are stupid? Do you think the hand was inspired by the hand from Adam's Family, or just
it's possible?
Little thing.
Did you love Farewell to Arms because the hand had no arms?
Yep. That's referenced. There's a few little Easter eggs. One of them is that. The other one is when he goes into the tool shed and he puts his girlfriend's head in the vise.
Yeah.
Pay attention, above the door that he comes in, you can see Freddy's glove above the door.
Wait, I missed that.
Yeah, it was like a little homage.
Wow.
Like they a lot of times they'll do
love those little Easter eggs.
There's like some movies where like you'll see like a Jaws poster in the background or something like that. They'll do that just to pay homage to some of their favorite movies and stuff.
I wish I hadn't missed that.
It's easy to miss. I'll be honest, it's easy to miss.
Did you love, because I have a lot of earwax, so when the ear we'll talk about that later. So then one time I have to tell you all, I picked out
a nugget,
a chunk. I wish I had saved it in a Ziploc bag, and when I lived in LA, it was this big. Let's see, there, I'm looking, okay. And it was cream colored with a mix of like light green, brown. I mean, very sci-fi. And so anything can, and I just have a lot of earwax because my dad does. I go once a year to the ENT.
Oh, okay.
And I'm always excited to look at the earwax after. But anyways, when his ear, and I'm always like,
are you a pimple popper video person?
I haven't watched, but yes, anything coming out of orifices like that, not like out of assholes or vagina holes, but anything from like little, anything, but especially earwax.
I had to have the ear thing cleared one time and a big chunk came out. It was like, I'm like, how the?
It's orgasmic. I'm kidding. Now they use like a little,
is it like a suction?
No, they don't do the suction. I had that once, and that wasn't great.
See, they use the little squirter thing set there, squirting into my ear and letting the fluid drip out, and then finally the chunk came out.
Yeah, I had that in the 90s at Northwestern. That was how the Student Health Center did it, and that was exciting. But now my ENT, I don't know. It's not a cure. It's just I need to ask him the name. Anyways, when it goes in and he digs around, my eyes flutter and I'm in heaven.
Really?
In heaven. Like in heaven. And then I'm always sad when I was like, that's it? Because he does the right and left. Really? But one time it had been a long time. This was in New York, and the ENT had to work on my left ear for 20 minutes. She had to lay me down. We could do a sci-fi movie. Now it's not as bad, but the 20 minutes. Yes, that's exactly it. Oh my God. Because you can't get to it. Because I'm not supposed to put my fingers in. But anyways.
My mom told me the same thing, but it wasn't about my ears. So anyways, no, every time I clean my ears with a Q-tip, it makes me cough.
Really, you get that tickle at the back of your throat?
Yeah.
See, I like it when they look in my ear with the thing and they pull down on the ear.
Doesn't it feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when
I'm with you on that.
So when his ear just kind of twitched, I was like,
in the wall, and his ear just went, Blip. Yeah.
I wanted more with the ear.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was that. Okay, I did those two. It reminded me, and I'm not name dropping Tony Moran for the viewing audience, but Tony, my beau, is trying to catch me up as well with not scary films, but just
films
movies in general. And so it kind of, he's friends with David Naughton from An American Werewolf in Paris. So Tony just showed me that maybe in June. So Bruce Campbell
transformation is awesome in that movie. Like when he's transforming and his fingers get all like they get all stretchy. It's great.
Yeah. So it reminded me a little Bruce Campbell. They're totally different actors and both very specific and wonderful.
Mhm.
But a little, just the physicality and the reminded me of
Bruce goes over the top though in that scene where his hand is attacking himself.
I loved
Oh
it.
yeah.
And that was all improvised, by the way.
No way.
Yeah,
And did
that's what it says. Let me see.
did he do, did they throw a stuntman in at all, or was he taking all the
No,
hits
yeah,
and
That's
everything?
him. That's him.
Wow, that I can say as an actor, that's extraordinary to be able to do. As I was watching it, I figured it was him, but then I was just like, there's no way he could be being able to handle that.
Yeah.
But so that was just
There's so many like cool tricks too, like when he's like passed out and the hand's just like grabbing and like pulling him along. There's
Yep.
obviously someone just pushing him like from his
Yeah.
feet, but
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so effective and so good.
Yeah.
You know, it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it says that it was completely improvised. So I don't know. I'm assuming I don't know how many takes they would have done, but they're fans of physical humor as well. They're fans of the Three Stooges. That's why
all the physical.
Right.
It reminded me of.
They call a lot of the Deadites like in if you read the credits and stuff, a lot of times they'll reference them as Shemp 1, Shemp 2, whatever.
I wondered what Shemp meant.
Yeah, that's Shemp. Shemp is
they're taking.
Yeah, Shemp was actually before Curly was in Three Stooges. Shemp was there, but then when Three Stooges got big, it was Curly. Then when Curly left, Shemp came back. So he was another one of the Howards, one of the family.
So that, oh my gosh, you guys are giving me a great lesson.
Crooksy is full of knowledge on these things. I love
all
it.
Very useless information.
And it'd be very useful for this.
Ask me my wife's phone number. I can't tell you what it is.
I can't either, so don't feel bad.
I can tell you.
But I can tell you my wife's.
And I did write about the Vice, and I wrote, what did she say when she was in the Vice?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
And then it made me laugh when he said, "Give me back my hand."
Yeah. Give me back my hand. Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. Now, why do peeps? Okay, I did write this. Why do people? Well, okay, I understand the claymation and how brilliant that is. Why is there such an audience? Because I'm really curious. Why is there such an audience for movies like
this?
I think it's the going back to the basics more.
Yeah, I think for people that are like more like my age.
Yeah, we're inundated with the special effects these days.
Right. It's more practical effects stuff. Yeah. It's low budget, like especially like I'm a fan of low budget independent stuff in general.
Yeah.
And I think people will grasp that. They hold on to that. And there's also too, like as a kid, if you saw this movie when you were a kid, it may have freaked you out completely. Just like Poltergeist scared the crap out of me. I still love Poltergeist, you know? So it's it's something where it's almost like reminiscing, and then people will pass it on to their kids.
And will kids today, like Jar Jar said, his two kids, Cupid and Lindley, walked out.
They're just
will there
like,
be?
No.
Will there be some kids who will latch on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. There's kids that you'll see dressed up like Ash, like if he's on a show.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Does Bruce Campbell do a lot of conventions?
He's at Colorado next week. Colorado Springs. Not this weekend, but the weekend after.
What's that? God, there are conventions everywhere. Does that one have a name?
That one, I believe, is just called Colorado Springs Comic Con, but I'm not 100%.
He can cross over because he's been in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's had Westerns. He's had like a lot of different stuff, and he's a very, very interesting person to listen to. Like his when he does a panel, he does it himself, and it's completely like you're laughing for almost a full hour. Like,
and he doesn't have an interviewer. He just a moderator. He just gets up and
he's and that's the thing too. I think because he's so outgoing and stuff too. I think people kind of grasp to that.
Yeah.
Plus he came from nothing. Like he was in soap operas and stuff. Like, in his career, and like he put out his first book was called If Chins Could Kill, Story of a B Movie Actor, and he was talking about like he was filming. He was working like security or something, a security job at night, but like during the day he was filming like a specific movie that went on to be huge or something like that. Like, you know what? He was sleeping on someone's couch. You know,
I love that.
Yeah,
it wasn't handed to him,
right?
Yeah. Or any sort of nepotism. No, I love that.
Especially when Evil Dead 2 came out. That's still during the time where people were kind of like horror movies. Ugh, you know, like no one took it seriously in the business. You know, it was more stuff where you could get an X rating for having too much blood.
No, even Tony would tell you, like,
he
put into a horror movie, he was like, "What the fuck? I don't want to do a horror movie."
Yeah, no,
like, and never mind have my face covered up. Like what?
I'm turning you up a little bit. Yeah, right as Crooksy was saying that, I was thinking of Tony when he talks about when his agent called him. You know, he had a wonderful acting teacher and very much loved theater, and equally as much as movies. And so I thought it was so interesting, his response initially to going on the audition and how it wasn't respected back then, and a step above.
It was almost like
a curse. Above porn.
Porn.
It was almost like a curse. Like if you were known for horror movies, like good luck getting any other work. You know, good luck.
He said when the agent finally, the agent first said, Jamie Lee Curtis, and he didn't.
Yeah,
he said exactly he didn't know who she was, and then he wasn't being snooty at all, and he said, my sister in the interview. I'm just going off his interview, but and then when we talked, that he wasn't overly impressed, like having his sister Erin Moran in the Happy Days. It wasn't. He was basically trying to tell her that's not a selling point as far as being enamored of getting to work with Jamie Lee Curtis, just because he wasn't aware of her at that time. But that what was the selling point. And I shouldn't be speaking for him, but of course he loved working with Jamie Lee Curtis and working on that scene. What was the selling point for him was when she told him Donald Pleasance was in the film. And I know a lot of people, Jar Jar already knows this, but that when she told him that, he was like, Mary was the name of his agent. And he was like, why are you telling me this? That Donald Pleasance agreed, because now I have to take it.
Well, it's a good thing he did. I mean, like it's, I mean, I'm sure it's affected him in positive ways.
No,
there may have been a period of time where it maybe wasn't so positive, but like earlier on where it may be like, oh, you were on Halloween, like, but I guess it's a good thing his face was covered, right?
Well, and he
was the
grateful. Face. Yeah, when she's strangling him, when he's strangling Jamie Lee Curtis, she unmasks him, and I'm not saying this because we're together. I just remember when I saw it in 2015, and then I know we'll get back to Evil Dead 2, but I just thought as an actor how a lesser actor, I feel, would have just put the mask back on, not have any reaction or seeing that kind of, to me, what I saw was this lost moment of who am I without the mask. This, ordinary kind of young kid, handsome, everyday looking young man that you wouldn't expect to be in the Michael Myers mask, capable of doing all those killings. And he told John Carpenter John Carpenter asked him what he wanted to do with the scene, and Tony told John Carpenter, and John Carpenter was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then Tony, just with the scenes, just added more and more layers to the scenes. And so I think for me, watching that scene really makes the movie, I think, just elevates it so much more. Just those
the decisions that what he chose to do.
And then he did do, I guess some people, Tony says, don't realize that after he puts the mask back on, John Carpenter was just going to have a stunt man do the getting shot. And Tony said, no, I can easily do the getting shot. So you see him That's Tony doing that, and then Jim Winburn doing the fall over the balcony. But he took his girlfriend at the time to go see it in the movie theater, and he turned to his girlfriend and he was like, wow, this is pretty good. This is a pretty good movie. So I know he was ultimately, of course, very grateful, had no idea, because they didn't give him a script ahead of time. He didn't even know that he was going to be in a mask. And when they were greasing his hair back, and I know Jar Jar knows all of this already.
Oh yeah, I actually have to interview him this weekend coming up, so I'm getting ready. I've been preparing for all of that stuff.
And you did great interviews with him and PJ Souls this time last year.
Yeah, her boobs were in the movie. I mean, PJ Souls was in the movie too.
She's very nice. I like PJ Souls.
I do too. I think
she's a great job.
She's a grandma now. She's like
crazy.
Oh, she is. Were they with her at Tidewater?
Yeah, her grandkids were there. Yeah.
Okay, that's
right. It was crazy. I'm like, hold on, your mom or grandmother. I'm like, wow, it's intense seeing. Yeah, it's like millions of years later. It's like, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird because the thing I know her from mostly from growing up would be Rock and Roll High School.
Loved Rock and Roll High School.
Yeah, Ramones movie.
Yep.
Rock and Roll High School. I think I'll have to IMDb. Was she? I saw Private Benjamin with Goldie Hawn, and wasn't she the second female?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think she was in it. Yeah.
So I've got. Well, and I was gonna say I apologize to Bruce Campbell, because you never know who will see our show. I wanted to, because of course I have seen him in other films, but I had wanted to IMDb him before we came on, and I didn't get a chance. But I know he's
he's been all over the place, even like just his voice, or like even like one scene he played Ronald Reagan in one scene in the episode of Fargo.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go back and.
I think it was. I don't remember which season it was, but.
In the TV series.
Yeah. He's in the movie Fargo as well.
He's just been in everything.
Yeah. So in the movie Fargo, at one point, like the big Russian kind of guy is like in this house and he's just eating and he's watching soap operas. The guy in the soap opera is Bruce Campbell.
Okay, that's.
He was wicked young. He was wicked young. He was like he wasn't a teenager, but he looked like a teenager. But yeah. So whenever I see him on something, I'm like, yay, it's Bruce Campbell. I'm just happy. Like Burn Notice was awesome. Briscoe County Jr. was a Western that was awesome.
Briscoe County Jr.
Say the name. Say you, Crooksy. I love you. Talk so fast, which I actually love. No. I mean that as a compliment, and with your accent, it's.
He was in Burn Notice, which I really enjoyed.
Was Burn Notice the Coen brothers? No, that's Burn After Reading.
Yeah, this was a television show on USA.
That's right.
And then he was in a show called Briscoe County Jr., which is like kind of like a sci-fi Western kind of thing.
I remember that
around the same time as like Xena Warrior Princess, stuff like that. He was actually in that as well. Xena Warrior Princess.
So I love actors that just are TV, film, for me also theater. Like it's just exciting to see them.
Speaking of theater, I did want to bring this up. So that like all the house was built in it was a set that was built in a junior high school. So it wasn't like a regular like sound stage. It was filmed at gymnasium of J.R. Fajan Junior High School in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw the North. No way. And would that have been because they couldn't afford a sound to shoot on a sound stage?
Yeah, most likely. It was. From what I understand, it was during the summer when there was no school, and that's why it was wicked hot. That's why.
I was just gonna say wicked hot.
Wicked hot.
Ted Raimi
was a wicked pisser.
Yeah, he was all sweaty because it was so hot in there.
He had the vagina sweat coming down.
The vagina's just pouring, and I have had that, man.
I'm telling you, Mara, that's going to be my new thing. Anytime I'm swimming, like, God damn, the vagina sweat is.
The vagina sweat.
Had a bad case of the vagina sweats.
So that's pretty extraordinary because, of course, you can't tell that that's a junior high gymnasium. I mean, they made that look so. Some of it looks
some of it looks like a set, but it's still at the same time too. It's pretty
so
impressive.
even the outdoor, what was some of it filmed, like that
Yes.
outdoor shot in the woods in North Carolina?
That cabin did really exist. The outside, you're seeing the outside of the cabin. Yeah, that did really exist. I think it's gone now. But
the inside of the house, I thought, and the fruit cellar looked really real to me, and definitely scary. And when he's kind of going through the hall and those weird hallway shots,
it's almost like wasn't he like behind the walls kind of deal?
Yeah, within. Okay, yeah.
That's creepy and very claustrophobic.
And very claustrophobic. Okay. Okay, I'm almost done. I hope you rot. Okay. The spit, Bobby Joe cracked me up with the "I hope you rot down there," and then when she spits on him, loved that. The flying eyeball was probably one of my favorites into Bobby Joe's.
Yeah. So one thing, I don't know which one you saw, because there's been multiple like remasters and stuff like that. There's a lot out there, but there's some of them you can clearly see like the black little pole holding, like that the eyeball is sitting on top of. You can clearly see it. That's actually like one of the things I love about it so much. It's like, wow, they didn't even really try to hide that well. Like that's great. And then they kind of play off that in Evil Dead Rise as well. There's like a callback to that.
See, that's
really
a callback to the eyeball. Yeah.
I think I remember
in the hallway. You'll have to watch it again.
I think so.
When each couple were turning in sync their heads as the sounds.
Yeah.
That cracked me because it was very theater-esque.
Yeah. And it was I love like how like with Bruce at one point too, where he was obviously just losing his mind and everything in the house was laughing. Like the lamp was laughing.
It reminded me of Beauty and the Beast, like all
the deer head was like like whatever. It was and then he's doing the up and down thing with the lamp, and then like they all just start.
Right. Oh yeah, that was insane. Okay, sometimes it reminded me of Scooby-Doo, like when they would be the gang of them tiptoeing and then all responding.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, when I watched the credits, Peter Deming, the cinematographer, was the initial cinematographer for Scream.
Oh, really?
And double check me on this, and got replaced by Mark Irwin.
Oh.
Again, I don't like talking of it, but I believe the Weinstein brothers wanted a change and thought some of the early scenes looked too blurry or out of focus. And the switch was made from Peter Deming to Mark Irwin.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I think I have that order right, or it could have been Mark Irwin.
Either way, I'm believing it. So
yeah. So no, yeah, there was a cinematographer, and I think it was Peter Deming to Mark Irwin. And then the guy going, "Where's Bobby Joe?" I thought that was hilarious.
The redneck guy, "Where's Bobby Joe?" And he's like,
"Where's Bobby Joe?" Did you feel her? I know I brought this up at the beginning, that her 80s outfit was distracting, or because everyone else was in subdued colors. Bobby Joe,
I think she was trying. I think she was one of the, like, her character was maybe just trying to look like she was better than everyone else.
Yeah,
I think it fit. Like,
and fish out of water. Yeah, yeah. Maybe it was just because of my. I mean, yeah. In the end.
Also, I was like a teenager when I saw it for the first time, and you're seeing it now for the first time. So those things wouldn't have stood out to me.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. You're right. You're right. We gotta. It reminded me when he. I'm not trying to call back to Scream just because of Scream, but
whatever you can relate to. That's the whole thing.
But I know since Scream, which I'll be excited when you assign me Nightmare on Elm Street, because I know there were callbacks in Scream, of course, to Halloween, and when Rose McGowan says, "Oh, is this a Wes Carpenter flick?"
Yeah.
Great little things like that. So when Nev Campbell at the end, when Skeet Ulrich wakes back up to go for her one last time, and Nev Campbell shoots him again, or shoots him, and she goes, "Not in my movie." At some point towards the end, Bruce Campbell Ash had kind of a moment that reminded me of that Nev Campbell moment. Or when he says, "Swallow this." But it was just
you got some great one-liners, like in all of the movies.
Yeah.
Like, some Sugar Baby is said in I think that's Army of Darkness.
For the candy Sugar Baby, or just the
no,
name?
no, give me some sugar, baby. Like, and then he makes out with a girl. Like, yeah, because it's an S smart. Like he says that to the girl. He's trying to impress.
Shop smart. Shop S smart.
But it's So, is there any character? I mean, obviously, gender doesn't matter. But is there any character that you feel like you could have, like, or you would have wanted to have portrayed?
Bobby Joe.
Yeah. You want to wear that outfit because I already have the outfit.
I already got it.
And the kind of hair, I remember I had overly feathered hair growing up.
Like Blair from Facts of Life feathered, or like?
Oh no, well, short.
Dude,
like
that's what I was thinking every time she said feathered hair.
Whenever anyone says feathered hair, I think of Blair from Facts of Life.
I knew my sisters would call it "Here Comes Wings" because it was but it was boy, a boy haircut, but then very feathered.
Like, I was gonna say Joyce DeWitt, but I don't think she really had that.
Hers was more close.
Yeah.
Sometime I could show a picture, but no, but Bobby Joe's hair kind of, I remember I didn't do it, but kind of the hairspray just right in here but her hair was, but I wouldn't have done well as Annie acting that role, but I would have enjoyed, I imagine if I would have been auditioning as my agent, the agent reads the casting director sends the agent the breakdown of the characters, and then my agent would read the character list, and then whatever, if I was appropriate for a specific character, then if the casting director wanted to see me for that character, so Bobby Joe would have been something
you would have gone for.
Would have been sent out on, and I just would have loved. I guess because I've played leads in plays, so I've never, of course, carried a movie, so I always kind of see myself more in the supporting roles. It would be fun to play a final girl, or I know I'm not a girl anymore, but
you're more of a girl than I am.
Yeah. You win this competition.
I have a vagina. I mean,
I have a man.
But like a high school girl. But it would be fun to play. Well, I really want to play Norma Bates.
Oh yeah,
the female
that would be
Norman Bates.
That would
be a dream.
Crazy, yeah.
Let's make that happen. Okay, let's make it happen. Jeremy, let's make it happen.
Make it happen.
Call it Psycho. I don't know.
My acting teacher, I went to Duke Ellington. Whenever I tell this story to people, they're like, "Huh?" But at the time, sometime I'll show Jar Jar since I'll see him. But my acting teacher was in high school, was videotaping me doing a monologue for a monologue competition, and he suddenly stepped back and he goes, he's like, "You look like Norman Bates," because Anthony Perkins has the kind of the mole and then the brown eyes. And so as an older person now, I was like, oh, I hope people still might think that. But at the time, I know that sounds weird, but as I got older, I was like, but when I was watching Psycho a few years ago, I was like, Mom, don't you think I look like Anthony Perkins? And I think she's like my daughter is crazy.
Just walk away. I had a chance to meet him when I was a child. I barely remember it. He was out. My dad's old best friend, who is no longer with us. He had a summer rental out in the Cape in Massachusetts, and Anthony Perkins had another, like, he had the next house over kind of deal. Like every year they would be there, and he was out like fishing or something, and like, oh, there's Norman Bates, and I'm like, oh, and he's he's like, he invited us over later on for dinner with his mother, and like he didn't
Really?
I didn't know what he's talking about. 'Cause I was very young.
Wait, was your dad joking, or Anthony Perkins? Was he joking, or
Yeah,
was it
they were
legit?
joking.
Was he in his 40s at that time?
I don't even know. I was in if I was
gosh.
10, if I was 10, maybe.
Did he look like himself?
Yeah, from what I
did he
remember.
look like? Oh,
Yeah.
I love him because I've only seen him in Psycho. I really want to see him in Long Day's Journey into Night, the Eugene O'Neill play, which you guys would love. So he was in the movie of Long Day's Journey into Night. If you all are into reading plays, it's a great play to read. And Philip Seymour Hoffman played, well, back in the, he played one of the sons in a version of it on Broadway. But I really want to see Anthony Perkins is with. There's two sons, and I'm blanking on who plays the dad. But no, it's a great play, based on kind of Eugene O'Neill's growing up in New London, Connecticut. But yeah, I've never, as much as liking Anthony Perkins, there's so many movies to see, but I'm excited to see that one. And I just think he was so good in Psycho. And
now that you mention it, I can't really think of many other movies I've seen him in either.
Yeah, that's why IMDb
he's such a name, though. But he's such a name. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, if you mention Anthony Perkins, I know exactly who you're talking about, but I can only think of Psycho movies because he was in like a later one too.
Yeah.
How did he do Psycho? Did he do this? Was there a 2? There was a 2 and 3, right? But he didn't.
Yeah, it went up to like, I want to say 5 or 6. He came back for one. No, he came back for one of them where like he had just gotten out of some asylum or something, and he was doing I want to say a radio interview or something like that. It was pretty interesting.
Why do you think he didn't want to do the second? Why would they even make a second one if it wasn't going to be him? That seems ridiculous.
Because it was a hit. Like, you know how Hollywood is.
That's true. Yeah, and just a cash cow.
Yeah,
but
it worked well as a TV series too.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
My wife loves that show, or loved that show.
I still missed Anthony Perkins. Like, I do get so attached to certain actors and in certain roles, but no, it was a good TV show. But I wanted Anthony Perkins.
Yeah,
but it was a good prequel to see. Norman Bates.
Going back to the Evil Dead franchise too. That's one of the things that some of the fans are not thrilled with, is that the reboot and then the most recent one, that it's not him as Ash. Like, it's not him. And I literally, it wasn't an argument. I went to a press screening for Evil Dead Rise, and on the way out, like, what did you think? I'm like, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And then some guy's like, you loved it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, why? And I'm like, so I assume you didn't like it? And he's just like, yeah. I'm like, why? And he's like, well, it's just, it's different. I'm like, well, Bruce doesn't want to be Ash for the rest of his life. He has other things he wants to do, So
I mean, at this time, he's in his 60s, like.
Yeah, he's already done a ton of stuff with Ash. He's done playing the character.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that completely, and he's doing it the right way. He's doing it on his own terms, and he's not doing it where he can't do it anymore, and he's just going to ruin it.
Yeah.
He's doing it the right way, and just let the guy live. Let the guy do what he wants to do. He's still going to be there. He's still going to be doing other things, and maybe it's not Bruce Campbell as Ash, but it's still Bruce Campbell. So simmer down, enjoy the movie. Simmer down now.
I do get so attached, like when they brought I didn't see the Rob Zombie Halloween, so I saw the first one in 2015, and then the second one, and then didn't see all the interim ones. And then I was so excited when Jamie Lee Curtis came back, because I loved watching that Laurie Strode arc. So I totally understand Bruce Campbell not wanting to play Ash, but I do get so attached to see that actor continue that journey.
But at the same time too, like, with the good thing with Jamie Lee Curtis, she came back because it's like, okay, this is what kind of launched her career, kind of deal, and she's had a great career.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Like there's so many movies that, like, honestly, don't take offense to this, Tony, but Halloween is not my favorite. It's not my. It's probably my least favorite franchise, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I have whatever. It's
no. I'm always fascinated.
I think I saw it too late in life. If I saw it when I was younger, I just never got a chance to. But if I saw it when I was younger, maybe it would have affected me differently. Like it didn't do anything for me. My favorite one is the one that Michael Myers isn't even in, which I believe is the second one. Oh yeah, the second one. It's where it's the 3 Halloween masks. Like it's the jack-o'-lantern, whatever. Like these.
He's in the second. I mean, Michael Myers is in the second one because he stalks her set in the insane asylum, or in the hospital.
Maybe it's the third one then, whichever one.
See the third one.
There's one that Michael Myers isn't in, and people were up at arms about it. Like people were not happy, and I'm like, that was my favorite one. So it's crazy. That's
that's what's fun about our threesome is it's fun. I love learning what people respond to and what they don't respond to. Like I think it's fascinating
Two Jeremys.
Two Jeremys.
Do Jeremy.
Right. There we are. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties, it seems, tonight. It must have already started raining or something out this way.
Anyways.
But no, I and that's what I was so excited to come on tonight to understand, because like I said, any art is exciting for me to watch, and then understanding. I know I'm repeating myself.
Even if you don't love a movie, like I don't love Halloween, but I respect it to no end. It really has affected a lot of people. Like there's people that it's their all-time favorite movie, and that's huge. There's people that absolutely love it to death, and that's awesome.
It's my favorite horror film for so many reasons, and I do love the climactic scene of him getting unmasked, for sure. And then I
think you're a little biased.
I'm a little biased.
We don't all get to watch Halloween with sitting next to Tony Moran.
We did watch it together on my iPhone. I made them. But just because so much of it takes place during the day, Halloween, of course, the music, it just. For me, it would be my favorite. And then, of course, Scream would be my number 2.
And I haven't seen that. So we've already talked about that.
That's right.
That's going to be one on the list. Probably maybe the last episode will be a Scream.
A Scream.
Yeah.
Are you interested? No. And was it something that just didn't grab? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, it's at the time when it came out, like all of the celebrities that were in it. Yeah. I'm just like, don't tell me they're going to make a good horror movie. Come on. I'm like, whatever.
They did. Jar Jar, did you see it?
I didn't want to give it a chance. It was my own stupidness.
No, Scream.
Oh, Scream. Yeah, I've seen it now. I've had to watch it a few times now with the littles. They love it.
With the littles.
Yeah, the littles are big fans of Scream. I like it a lot because it's more, I say, an homage to other horror flicks. And don't get me wrong, it takes a lot now to get me scared anyways.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I love what's his name's part in it.
David
Shaggy.
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard. I think he's I just think he's great. The whole I think it's a little deep, man.
It's weird because I'm a big Scary Movie 1 and 2 guy.
I'm totally interrupting. I'm sorry. I just watched Scary Movie, the first one. I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
So you like that?
Yeah. Is that the one that has Doofy in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's at cons all the time.
Yeah. I've done 2 cons with
Dave
him.
Sheridan.
Yeah. So it was fun to finally see the film,
Yeah.
to see him as
I do really enjoy the first one. The second one is probably my favorite though, because it's got Chris Elliott. He's like, grab a small hand. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
they really I had no idea Scary Movie really spoofed Scream so much.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was really followed it from beginning to end.
I have to say, we did try to watch Scream 2 the other day. I don't know how far the littles made it, because I left.
Well, she wasn't in Scream 2, so whatever.
No.
So whatever.
I was just like, Nar's not in this. I'm not watching.
Yeah.
That girl in bathroom, her journey doesn't continue.
The girl is still in the bathroom. She's got problems.
Wait, she doesn't talk nudie? Wait, she doesn't talk. What'd you say, George?
No, I was saying there wasn't any continuity. The girl in bathroom should have been like there right next to Nev.
Like she's incontinent. That's what she's
the commentary. There was good information you learned between me and the cheerleader as the commentators of what was going on.
That boyfriend, all that.
Yeah. We last night, just on the Matthew Lillard thing, the interview we did with the 10,000 subscriber was the woman who played Sydney's mother, Maureen Prescott. Mm-hmm. Her name's Lynn McRee. And then Alan, who did the Matthew Lillard he was the Matthew Lillard stunt double as Ghostface. And he got to do all the stunts when Matthew's like tumbling around with Nev Campbell. That was Alan. When the TV's thrown on Matthew Lillard. So it was fun to meet those two.
Here's a little weird, as you were talking about the stunt double, it made me think of it. So Dave Sheridan, if you've watched Scary Movie, he is the ghost face in Scary Movie, and he was actually in the costume the whole time too. Like, so whenever it was Ghostface, it was really Dave Sheridan.
Yeah, I love that.
Like the dance and everything. There's like a scene where he's breakdancing or something like that. It's really him.
And it's really him.
Yeah. He's awesome. He's a wicked funny guy.
He's so funny in that.
Yeah. So we should probably wrap this up a little bit. Okay. But what are your final thoughts on Evil Dead 2? I know you probably said you probably will never watch it again.
Well, I didn't know because I never want to be on a show where I don't be respectful of, no, for me, like I never want to be disrespectful of actors and because people always ask, what did I think of Scream 5, like on interviews? Mm-hmm. And I'll say stuff off camera, but I always want to be respectful. But I do, after getting to talk with you all for our show tonight, I do really have a respect for what they did. I had no idea what to expect. I knew Jar Jar had
That's
written.
Weird.
Yeah. But I just, I don't know. It was so relentless for me. There was never, and at the end I was just like, how much more? Not in a bad way, but just, there was no letting up. And so I don't think I could revisit it, but not because I didn't like it. It's just a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Lot to take in.
That's been so many times. I'm just like, all right, that again. Like,
yeah. But he does such a great, I really enjoyed all the actors and Will Forte pre-Saturday Night
Forte. Yeah.
But no, and the claymation, just, I didn't know that was what it was called. Like I did want to say, did you think the dancing when she's really emaciated? Oh my gosh. Okay, that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. That's stop motion.
I haven't seen, what's the Tim Burton
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Some of her, that I haven't seen Nightmare Before Christmas, but her body reminded me of some of the
Jack Skellington stuff.
Those figures.
Yeah, because she kind of run, like flies off into the woods.
When she
Yeah,
that was brilliant, and the weird hair.
Like, it goes like this, and the head rolls up, rolls down her arm, everything. Yeah,
I thought that
very globetrottery, but
just a trippy. Yeah, but also what I wanted to quickly say, I know we have to go, what I do love that I didn't know was Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. You were saying being college classmates, right?
Yep.
So why I got a kick out of that when you shared that is, again, being so growing up doing theater. That was how the Steppenwolf Theater Company in Chicago was founded. Was Gary Sinise, John Malkovich, Laurie Metcalf, those guys, Terry Kinney, who you all would know him, but a lot of them went to college together. Like I think it was Gary Sinise and Terry Kinney, but like two of the guys went to college and then added Laurie Metcalf, and they came together to form. It's one of the best theater companies in the world. But yeah, it was all of Glenn Headley. It was the kind of the core, maybe 8 of them, Joan Allen, but those actors I just love. So I love, and Wes Anderson too, with Owen Wilson, those guys. Like I love hearing about friends from yesteryear, and they stay friends and create art together. That learning about that with Evil Dead too, or well, just the Evil Dead, how they started it, is really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I like that kind of stuff too. I respect it 100%.
Yeah.
So so at the end of the day, you respect the movie.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad I got to watch it, because I'd always heard about Evil Dead. I didn't read, until watching it, now understanding the TV show Ass First.
Different kind of movie.
That should be the porno.
Yeah, Ass versus Evil Head.
But no, it's just so fun. Wait, what did Crooksy say?
Ass versus Evil Head.
I've never heard of Evil Head.
With a lot of teeth. With a lot of teeth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
fangs.
Yep.
But no, just here, and now it makes, because I know Evil Dead Rise came out, so
you got to watch that sometime. Yeah, it's actually really good.
I love
that. Was like I was saying, I haven't had a lot of horror movies scare me. That one had some moments where I was like, oh shit, that's a little freaky.
Yeah. He's different. He's definitely different.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's just educational. I feel like I'm back in high school and college. Like, again, with theater, we read tons of plays, the Greeks, Shakespeare, contemporary plays, and I loved it all, even if I felt more comfortable. Tennessee Williams is my favorite, but even if I didn't, the Greek plays were hard for me, always a challenge. But as an actor, I just loved all of it, even if they're plays that I gravitate to more. It's just getting to have this crash course with all the horror films is what I feel like with growing up.
These are people that you're rubbing elbows with. These are, the people that love these movies are the people that you see.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's now to have seen Dave Sheridan, like it gives it a whole, just an extra depth and makes it an even more meaningful experience. Because I want to see Sleepaway Camp with Felissa. Felissa's really good friend with Tony.
That's something else, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's not a great movie. It's fun. It's very campy, very schlocky.
Yeah.
You think my accent is fun? Oh my goodness. It's a hardcore New Jersey accent, the whole movie.
Oh my gosh. Well, she said, they're good friends, and Tony speaks so highly of her, and
she's great.
She's a really good friend to him, and so
she's going to be at Tidewater.
That's right. So I'll get to really. She and I did 2 conventions, but one, Carolina Fear Fest, we were really far apart. New Jersey Horror Con, she was right next to Dave Sheridan. It was like Dave Sheridan, Felissa, Tony, the cheerleader, and then me. But we were so busy during the day that I didn't get to. I was spending the off time with Tony. So yeah, I look forward to Tidewater to get to know.
She's legit. Yeah. Like, there's people I know that will go to a con just because she's there. Like every time she comes around, she's one of the genuinely just nicest people.
That's the feeling I get. Just even looking at on social media, fans posting pictures with her. Just She just radiates such a great spirit and
she's a hugger.
Genuine.
She's a hugger.
Yeah,
and,
I'm a big
I'm not.
hugger.
I'm not a hugger, but when she comes over to hug me, I'm like, yep, here we go. Because it's Felissa, and she's like, oh, how are you? It's like she remembers me, and I'm like, that makes fans feel like $1 million bucks. Let me just tell you.
Yep. And you can tell, I mean, just again from Tony and then just seeing fans on social media, you can tell she really enjoys having those relationships and friendships with the fans, and it's very genuine and so I look forward to Tidewater too.
So go to Tidewater, even though this is probably going to air after Tidewater. What you can do is go back in time, go to Tidewater,
or you can check out the panel that's on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you can do that too.
Wait, what did Jar Jar say?
Or you can check out the panel that will be on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yes, check out, because you'll be doing all the panels this weekend at Maryland.
Yes, we get to see each other now. Woo! I'll see you Friday.
Excited.
I can't wait.
I know. I'm so excited. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We get there. Will you get there? We get. Tony
I'll be
there Thursday.
Friday. I want to say by like 3 I should be there sometime.
Okay.
Friday afternoon.
Oh, I'm so excited.
But I'll be setting up all the audio and stuff.
Will you and Leo be doing the same setup? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody watch Jar Jar's interview panels for Maryland Pop and Hurricane.
Hurricane, dude.
It's wicked.
And Tidewater Hurricane. He'll have great panels and
you guys are streaming them live, Jar Jar?
Yep.
All right. So again, this is after, but those will still live online.
They will be there forever.
Right. So go to, was it the Dorkening Facebook page? Or
yes, Dorkening.
Okay.
Or it might be both.
Yeah, check out both of them. How would you do that?
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. You can subscribe.
Yeah.
I feel like, tell me, Jar Jar, sometimes if I look, I haven't recently, but for example, if I haven't pulled up Felissa Rose on YouTube, but sometimes if you do pull up the actor, all the different YouTube interviews, yours will pop up that way as well. But the Dorkening would be the podcast would be the coolest.
Oh yeah. But for the live panels, they can always just go to the Facebook page. But if they do a YouTube search, it'll show up there too.
Yeah, if there's a particular.
Yeah, if they do. Your name and then Tidewater or whatever, I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah.
But so actually, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. When we're going to start launching this stuff, we'll talk about that when we're. So.
When you start launching your cum into my mouth.
What? Jesus Christ!
Wow.
Anyways,
and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up this episode.
That's great. So, Nar, where do you want people to go to follow?
Find you, get cum in their mouth.
To come in my mouth. I talked with Tony. For me to do an OnlyFans, not for Tony and me to do OnlyFans, but he and I joke about that I'll do OnlyFans, which is my idea, not Tony's idea. But yeah, so my name at Nancy Ann Ritter for Instagram, and then it's like let me read my name so I know what it is. And then Nancy Ann Ritter for Facebook. And I'm still trying to get better and better with social media, but I am trying to keep up with promoting the different conventions and then and then promoting. Do I say it's your all's show? I feel weird.
It's your show. It's your show.
I can say your show.
Our show.
If you prefer, you can say our show. But it's
that even makes me feel, because you all created it.
But we created it for you.
Okay.
You're the muse.
Yes.
I'm the muse.
That's right.
Well, I feel very honored to be the muse, and that you all asked me. And Jar Jar came to.
I waited a long time for all of this.
I know.
I'm excited. Like I've been telling everybody, I'm like, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, same here.
It's
Same
happening.
Here. I'm like, I didn't know if it was going to happen for a while. It's happening.
It's happening.
Yes.
But yeah, I've been trying to talk about it on. I have so many interviews that, and I'm not tooting my own horn. There's so many interviews I've been asked to do, but it just is hard to keep up with them. Partly because my little setup, well, it doesn't take a while, but
always send me links because I'll watch them. I'll sit there and ask questions and everything. I'll be very involved no matter what you're on.
Involved, even though you've got, don't you have 5 littles?
I can make time here and there to turn on my phone and be like,
and catch a little bit. But no, I've probably put on hold, and again, I've probably put on hold at least 50 interviews.
Wow.
I mean, two.
I was going to say, make me 51, because when we're going to watch this thing, I want you to
come. Oh, yeah. So it's just hard to keep up with them because my main focus is my main focus is the re-education of Nancy Ann Ritter, and then to do as good a job as I can in the independent horror films. I've been,
which you got 5 of them coming out.
I know. Well, I'm worried I overcounted. So I have
you got 5.
One already kind of quasi came out. I don't know. I need.
Oh, which one came out?
Well, one of one, but I don't know. I've got to ask them. They're a really nice husband and wife team. If they're going to play it at festivals. But the 3 that will come out the end of 2023 are The Woodman with L.C. Holt, who was at Billy and Brian's first Tidewater. L.C. and then Holt. He did a movie called The Watchdog and some other films.
Watchdogs. Yep, we've had him on a bunch of times.
Oh, you have. So nice.
Yeah.
And you'll have to have me assign me to watch his films because I haven't seen them, and I'm really excited to see.
He's part of this group. Felicia's part of it as well. Yeah. There's these actors and actresses that are just making movies. They're just moving around making movies. Yeah. And it's moving around the country. And pretty much every single one they've made is on my list of I need to see this movie.
Oh, good.
As they're coming out slowly, I'm like, all right, cross this one off.
Can we add it to our list?
Yeah, we can.
Or after you pop my cherry with Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. Okay. All the ones I haven't seen that I've avoided because I was too scared.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But yeah, The Woodman with L.C. Holt and the Scream cheerleader, and then The Girl 2 with Gigi Edgley, and the Scream cheerleader, and another great actor, Lisa Neild, who back in the day was a Playboy cover model, but she's a really great actor and wonderful person. So that's The Girl 2, and then the third one, The Only Ones, which is set at a cabin in the woods. So that was exciting as I was watching Evil Dead 2. And
if you could only go back in time and start yelling things about his fruit sellers.
And fruits. No, I felt stupid in the interview. I know we have to stop. In The Only Ones, Jim Krut, Krut. Is it Krut or Krut? But Krut. He was in Dawn of the Dead back in the day. I'll have to IMDb, but he's in The Only Ones and is one of the executive producers. And those actors are some of those same producers have asked me to be in a film that would come out in 2024 with Beatrice Bupley called Little Red Rosie.
Yep.
And then a film in Spain that I need to
Spain.
Connect the dots on that Spain film. I mean, no, I won't be shooting in Spain. It's something that that would be exciting.
It's like you need an agent to come with you.
Yeah,
someone carry your luggage.
Yes,
it's I have to record myself. It's like a FaceTime, so not a big part, but yeah, the film the production's being shot in Spain. Yeah, I know we have to.
Yeah, be on the lookout for all that stuff. You have other ones that have already came out. There was one a friend of mine wrote the movie. It was like a takeoff, like their own take on Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. Oh, is it Kenny Scott Guffey? Is that your friend?
No, he was the writer. He actually wasn't on set or anything like that. It was this guy that wrote it. He lives in this area. So nowhere around where it was filmed or anything.
Okay, mine was, so I haven't met any of them. Mine was, I played the mother, and I don't want to play mother parts. I'm not ready. But it was just a FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
It was so I had a small part in that, of a scene with my daughter via FaceTime phone call. So you know them. Yeah, so I have, but yeah, that was super fun. I did that, in the summertime. But it was sweet. Some fans who knew I was going to be at a convention, they IMDb'd the few credits I have, and they knew Night of the Living Dead had just come out, so they went and watched that before coming.
That's cool. Yeah, it came out pretty good. I liked it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So Jar Jar, besides all these conventions that you're
actually, first, let's find out where we find Kevin.
Oh, okay. All right.
Henrietta.
Hey,
Henrietta.
Fellas and the souls, whatever. A Knuckle on Instagram, besides doing a Wicked Horror Show and doing this show with the lovely Nancy Ann Ritter and the just as lovely Jar Jar Jeremy.
Oh, thank you.
I'm also part of Black and White Fright, which is audio podcast only, where we talk about classic horror. And I am also part of That Strange Show, which is also part of the Dorkening Podcast Network. And I am just a talking head on that show. I just go with the flow. We talk about whatever comes up. So
very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for myself, you can find me on Facebook as Jeremy Courtney. I would say check out Splash Pages every Tuesday night on YouTube or Facebook at 7 p.m. That's a little
9
early.
p.m.
9 p.m.
9 or 8, something like that.
I think it's 8. It's 8 p.m. Ha!
I'm not even on the show.
Check it out. It's fantastic. It's so good. I don't even know when it is. And then definitely check out this show, which is going to be dropping soon with our first episode, which was, oh man, I don't even remember what.
Shining.
The Shining. That's right. The first episode was the Shining. But by the time you listen to this episode, that will already have dropped. So,
if you like this first episode, go back, let's do it again. So we'll talk about that right now. So yeah, thanks for watching / listening.
Yeah,
and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.